Nikon Z mirrorless camera batteries don't last nearly as long as their DSLR counterparts, and this frustrates a lot of photographers. Worse yet, it could leave you with a dead battery at the worst possible time. So I want to share some simple things that you can do, some settings that you can change, and some habits that you can get into to squeeze a little extra out of every charge. These might seem like small things, but they do all add up. I like to think of these in terms of different buckets. And the first bucket is the display system. Your camera displays use a lot of energy. And so the easiest thing that you can do is turn down the brightness. I know it's really easy to say, I love having that brightness all the way up. It's so easy to see on that nice big LCD screen, but that is just sucking energy out of that battery faster than you'd believe. So I'd recommend keeping this at the lowest possible setting for you to see your composition. You're going to change this in the setup menu under the brightness settings. Now for the viewfinder, you could just leave this at auto. This works really well. When you're in really bright conditions, it will crank up the brightness, but when you're in indoors and low light, it'll turn that down. And then for the monitor brightness, again, keep it at the lowest possible setting for you to actually see your composition. That might have you changing this setting a lot. And so what I did is I actually programmed the monitor brightness into my eye menu so that I can just press that eye button and then quickly change that monitor brightness without having to go into the main menus. And getting into the habit of changing this and keeping it as low as possible, that's going to make a big difference in how long each charge lasts. Or better yet, you could start using the viewfinder instead of the monitor, the LCD screen, to take pictures. I really love using the viewfinder. It's a much more immersive experience. It really eliminates a lot of the distractions that might be happening around you. And so I love using the viewfinder. I really don't use the LCD monitor much at all when I'm taking pictures. And so what you're going to do is you're going to change the monitor mode. Cameras have a button on the viewfinder housing that kind of looks like a TV screen. That's the monitor mode button. And the setting that I would recommend here is prioritize viewfinder 1. There's a second prioritize viewfinder setting. They're mostly the same. But when prioritize viewfinder 1 is set, that monitor, that LCD screen, is going to be off when you are in photo shooting mode. The viewfinder is also going to be off until you bring the camera up to your face to start shooting. Then that viewfinder is going to turn on so you can see your composition and start taking pictures. As soon as you take that viewfinder back down from your face, all of the displays are going to turn off. Again, saving a lot of battery power because that back LCD screen is not coming on at all. It's only going to come on when you are reviewing images or you're navigating through the camera menus. You can still use the main monitor for that. Now, the other thing in the display system that I'd recommend is turning off the picture review feature. Now that's when you take a picture, and as soon as you take that picture, that last image automatically comes up so that you can see that last picture. It's like an auto playback feature. I'm willing to bet that it's not a necessity for you to be able to review every single picture that you take immediately after they're taken. That's what the playback button is for. So turn off the picture review. That's in the playback menu. And then when you need to review images, do so using the play button. So those were some things that you can do with your camera displays to get a little extra out of every charge. The next little bucket is the focus system. That processor is using more power when you command autofocus, and it's sending electrons to the focus motor in the lens to move all of the elements inside that lens. And that uses a lot of energy too. So the less that you can do that, the more you can get out of your battery. But first, one thing that you can look at doing is turning off the AF assist, the autofocus assist lamp on the front of the camera. That's the little light that comes on when you're photographing in dark scenes and you press the shutter button, and that comes on to illuminate the scene to help the autofocus system. Well, today's autofocus systems can focus in low light pretty well. And if it's that dark where you really need that lamp, I'm willing to bet that you need a little extra light anyways. That lamp's not going to save you. But if you do photograph in low light a lot and your subjects are close then you can leave that on. But for the rest of us, I think it's okay to turn off that autofocus assist lamp. And then after that, try to minimize how much that autofocus system is running. And that means only using continuous autofocus when you absolutely need to. If you're photographing sports or wildlife or fast action, sure, you're going to need continuous autofocus. But I know a lot of photographers who just stay in continuous autofocus all the time, even when photographing landscapes. And every time you have that shutter button held down or the autofocus button, that system is running, that processor is using more power, and that lens motor is using more power. So switch over to single shot autofocus or manual focus if you need to, if you're comfortable with manual focus. And then only do that when you actually need to focus. So you're minimizing that time. You could even take that one step further and start using the back button focus technique. So the autofocus system no longer comes on every single time you press the shutter button. It only comes on when you hit the button on the back of the camera to focus. And that means that if you're photographing the same scene with the same aperture and distance settings and focal length, you don't need to refocus for every single picture. You don't need all of that energy for every single picture. So use back button focus, hit that back autofocus when you need to focus, and then you can just press that shutter button whenever you need to create a picture without that focus system continually running. Now, I did another video all about how to set up back button focus in Nikon cameras that you can find linked here if you don't have it already set up that way. There are some other kind of miscellaneous settings that you can use to minimize how much energy is drawn from your battery. And the first one is activating airplane mode. Many cameras have both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and even if you're not using an active connection, those systems are still on in the background. And so when you activate airplane mode, all of those wireless systems will shut off if you don't need them, of course, and that will further increase the mileage on each charge. You can also turn off vibration reduction if you don't need vibration reduction for every single picture. Now, this is useful if you're doing exposures longer than about the inverse of your focal length. But if you're doing any kind of photography where you already have very fast shutter speeds, that vibration reduction isn't doing much for your photos, but it is using up energy. So turn that off. And then the last kind of miscellaneous setting is the energy saving for photo mode. You can turn that on. You'll find that in the setup menu. And that is going to put the camera to sleep. It's going to disable a lot of functions if you don't perform any functions within a set period of time. All you need to do when the camera goes to sleep is just tap the shutter button and it'll wake it up so that you can start shooting again. Near that energy saving photo mode button on a lot of Nikon cameras, you'll see a battery info option. If you go into battery info, it'll actually show you the health of your battery. And this could actually be a pretty good diagnostic tool if your battery isn't holding a charge very long. You can see how many shots you get out of a single charge. You can track that if you want to, if you kind of want to diagnose or compare batteries that you might have. And then you can check the battery age on a scale of 0 to 4. 0 is a new battery. And if it's a 4, that battery is quite old and can't hold a charge anymore, so it's probably time to replace that battery. So those were some camera systems that you can pay attention to or change to squeeze a little extra out of each charge. Now let's talk about some actual habits that you can get into out in the field while you're photographing that will help also. And the first one is to just have good shutter discipline. In the age of digital photography, it's so easy to just press the shutter every time you think you might want to take a picture because digital storage is almost free. It costs nowhere near what it costs to buy a roll of film and then develop that film. So a lot of us today are just taking way too many pictures, and that uses more battery power. So be disciplined about when you take the picture, have a reason for pressing the shutter button. It's the right moment. Everything is composed just the way you want it and exposed properly. Don't just take a picture just for the sake of taking a picture. And then that also applies for when your camera is in that standby mode, that power saving mode. I mentioned that you can wake it up just by tapping the shutter button. Well, every time you tap the shutter button to wake it up, that's using power. So again, only do that when you know you're going to take a picture so that the camera is ready to go. And then the other thing that you can do, this is very important for photographers who photograph in cold weather, is keep your battery warm. Cold weather really limits the available charge in your battery. So you need to keep those warm. And the easiest way to do this is just to keep it in your pocket next to your body so that it can absorb your body heat and come up to temperature, so that when you are ready to shoot, like say you're out on a hike or something, keep it in your pocket. And then when you're ready to start shooting, then pop it in your camera. So it's going to be more closer to like room temperature rather than the ambient air temperature, which will really limit that charge. So keep them warm. And then if you stop photographing for a while, take the battery out of your camera, put it back in your pocket next to your body. And if you're carrying a spare battery, which I'd recommend everyone do, especially if you're photographing in cold weather, also carry that spare in your pocket next to your body and not in your camera bag. Speaking of like spare batteries, I know a lot of you use those little tiny battery sticks that work great for charging cell phones. If you don't have a wall outlet to plug into, just note that most of these don't deliver enough wattage to be able to charge the Nikon batteries in the camera. So that's why I'd recommend you use a spare battery, buy a spare, because you can't rely on those portable power sticks. And then finally, this should go without saying, but start your day with a full charge. If you know you're going on a shoot, charge up all of your batteries the night before or the morning of if you have time. Make sure those are fully topped off, because if you just leave them in your bag and they sit there unused for a period of weeks or a month, then they're going to slowly drain, and that battery's not going to be at 100% when you pop it into your camera. So those are some easy ways that you can start getting a little more out of every battery charge. They are small, but the effects are cumulative. It does add up. Remember those different systems. The displays and the focus system use a lot of power, so try using those tips. And then those field habits, like having good shutter discipline and keeping your battery warm and charged. If you want to learn even more about all of your Nikon settings and menu walkthroughs, you can check out all of my Nikon courses at photocourses.link/Nikon. YouTube viewers get 20% off all of those courses using the code TUBE20. Please let me know if you have any other power-saving tips below or any other questions. Subscribe for more great tips like this every week, and I hope to see you in the next video.